Here's a quick review of what I went over in class involving correlation. And we did some other things too with conditional formatting and scatter charts, things like that. So here's the data on golf statistics, and it has some holes in the data here that I might try to take care of, or I might just by sorting. But one way you could take care of it is say, oh, I'll just say whatever was in the previous. Or you could just ignore it. There's different ways to handle the missing data. So I didn't really go over that, but you need to be aware. So what I am interested in is what are the correlations between all these different categories here, say between driving accuracy and yards per drive, or earnings and wins, or wins and driving accuracy, and things like that. And so what we can do is use this data analysis tab or capability in the data menu. I'm using a slightly older version of Excel, but it's still there. And so what we can do is click on data analysis, and there's different things like descriptive statistics. You can get all the different mean and mode and all that other data. Let's do correlation. And the input range, I think I will just select some. So I'll say earnings, and I'll go up to putting average, and I'll scroll down until I get to an empty, and I think it doesn't like empties. I've got my headers, my labels are in the first row, and I want to output this to a certain range. So I'll put the range there. So that should give me what I want. So here's the information with the correlations, and I'm going to I don't believe that there is that much accuracy in the correlation. So that's about the amount of precision that I think is possible here with this amount of data. In other words, it's not, all this, that doesn't really mean anything. So I'll go there, that much. And one thing you can do is some conditional formatting. And you can just pick one of these color scales where green is a large positive and red is a large negative. And that's one way you can visually kind of see, oh, something stands out here, and what stands out is these negative correlation between driving accuracy and yards per drive. And there's not a lot of big positive correlations except with themselves, but maybe greens and regulations and earnings, for example. So that's how you take care of correlations, and you can do some formatting to kind of have these things stand out. I suppose you could get rid of these and redo the formatting so that the positive number, this is now the biggest positive number, and it stands out more. Let's see, you can do a scatter chart that would plot, let's say it's a driving accuracy in yards per drive. It looks like there's a negative correlation there. So if I were to take some of this data, and I'll just scroll down to there, and insert a scatter chart. So I can't do a line chart. Well, I could do a line chart, but here I'll do a line chart just so you see. Like, well, that's not what I want. That's not easy to interpret. It's a scatter chart, and do the one that I meant to do. I did do greens and regulation. This is what I meant to do. I'll do that one. And insert, scatter chart. There's the chart. That looks a lot better. So I'm going to move that up here so we can kind of see. Yeah, it looks a lot better than that one. But gosh, that does look horrible. So now if we do add a trend line, and I'll display both of these things again, and I'll make that a little bit bigger. What that means is for where X is the yards that you drive, for every 1 yard that you drive it further, your driving accuracy goes down a little bit. So for every 10 yards further you drive it, 10 times 0.338 is about 3.4. Your accuracy goes down by 3.4%. In this case, it's a percent of times you hit the fairway. This R squared value is this number here squared. So if I take this number here and square it, I get that 0.3808. So R squared is the correlation squared.